My Today Show segment on Super Bowl 2021 is a wrap. And so I want to give you guys some tips about national TV interviews. First of all, the first tip is do massive research ahead of time, as far ahead as you can do. In some cases, that's 12 hours. In some cases, that's months ahead. But this is the kind of background research that we do. We call this affectionately mini stalking. So we research every single person who's going to be on air or that we would talk about. Get to know, where did they go to college? Do you know anybody in common? Is there any kind of way that you can immediately build rapport? Your goal is that when you sit down and you start the interview, that you already have a sense of knowing that person. Another type of research that we do is, for example, I've had the opportunity to be on the Super Bowl ad morning after about a dozen times in major national media, and so I have my system down pat. I start researching the spot as soon as I find out that I'm going to be on the show. In fact, sometimes even ahead of time, because they don't give you a lot of notice. So I researched every single commercial that was going to be available. I had all my notes. I did polling. I did focus groups for the favorites. So that way, last night, I already had all my points. My next tip: control everything you can about your environment. Because the Super Bowl was in Tampa, we decided that we were going to film outside here in my house in Orlando, but we also knew that there might be yard guys, there might be trucks going by. Monday morning is trash pickup day here in my neighborhood, so our plan was we were going to give the long guys $20 to hold on for 5 minutes. Not sure what we would have been able to do about the planes and about the garbage truck. The next thing is make sure that you have backups for your backups for your backups. So it's not just you and me here in my yard. We had 7 people who were ready with camera and sound and makeup and styling. Takes a village, right? You know, they don't roll out of bed like this. So knowing you have people on your team who can help you do things like this. I take my talk. I only found out today, about 14 minutes before we went live, which spots I was going to be talking about. So I took my notes, which I had ready. I already had it ready because of all the background research that I did. And I had it, and as you can see here, I said to my team, print this really big. So that means that I can take it, I can just put it right down here, and if I need to glance down, I've got my points ready to go. Okay, the next thing to do is make sure they have exactly the right information for you, how you want to be presented. Normally, you have 50 characters at the bottom of the screen. So for example, my introduction could be CEO, How to Fascinate, or author of upcoming book, Different is Better Than Better. In this case, I talked to the producers. We landed on New York Times bestselling author and branding expert. I also make sure to tell them, give them a phonetic description of my last name. So I want to be really clear because people always stumble over it. Hogshead, you know, and then it starts awkwardly. I've been introduced as Sally Hogshead. I've been introduced as Sally Boar's Head, and then with the tip of the hat to Harry Potter, Hogswort. So let's make sure that what's on your birth certificate is what you want them to say. The next thing is keep in close touch with your producer. Being responsive is key, especially with live national television. You want to be as responsive as possible. When they email you, when they text you, consider that your 5 alarm. Sounds like we need to go get the $20 out for the long guys. You want to demonstrate that you are easy to work with. You will go to great lengths. What I always do when I'm doing a TV segment is before I'm even asked, I send the producer, here's a list of potential questions you could ask. In this case, the questions that I sent were things like, how are Super Bowl ads going to be different in an era post-COVID or in COVID? What's the cultural climate right now, and how does that shape the humor involved? Boy, it is. Let me ask my sound guy. It's pretty loud. Okay, then always be able to do mime. Now, little known fact, I was the state mime champion for Florida. So while this is going on, ready? Here's the wall. Wait, watch. I'm walking in the rain. Now I'm pulling a rope. And finally, just to kill time until he's done, I'm gonna climb a ladder. Okay. Okay, you get the idea. So, see what I mean? Gotta be spontaneous. In this case, we had some audio issues. So, while I was live, I couldn't hear what they were saying and I could not see them on the screen. So my team would cue me when they said the word da 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 Sally. Then I just had to like hit the play button and start talking. But fortunately, because I had my notes, which I had researched over the weekend, I could roll with it. In this case, make sure you always send a fabulous thank you gift. I've been on the Today Show many times. I know the producers by name. And I'm happy to say in this case, I just got this email from the producer of the segment. Very, very well done. Big thank you. A lot of kudos from Savannah and Hoda in the weather break. I love these two guests. They're great together. So what you want to do is build the relationship, not just with the people watching, you want to build the relationship with the producers and the co-hosts. And finally, remember, having the opportunity to do something in major media is an honor. And it's not just about the segment or about the print ad or however you're being featured. Capture the entire experience. So I'm going to give you all the background. You'll see on my social media, as soon as I found out that I was going to be on the show on Friday, we started sharing my content about the Super Bowl and about branding and why different is better than better. You can check all that on my social media. Right now, I'm loving my new Instagram feed. And you can meet me there over at Sally Hogshead. At Sally Hogshead. I'm at Sally Hogshead in all forms of social media, except TikTok, where a 13-year-old kid co-opted my handle. So now I have to reach out to his parents to try to buy it back. So don't follow me on TikTok, but come join me on Instagram. Okay, mwah. Hope to see you next year with Super Bowl ads 2022.